What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If it is your first time touching down on this channel, welcome to Small Feet Big Heat. We talk sneakers, we talk streetwear, and everything in between. Today's video will be a detailed look at the Off-White women's exclusive Air Jordan 4 in the sail colorway. I will also be giving my review and on foot, so watch this video all the way through because it will be a banger. Now, I am really excited to have these in hand. For those of you who keep up with the channel and you watched my how to cop video and the release recap, you know how bad I wanted these for the personal, for the collection, and to have them sooner than later, I cannot be more happy. So let's go ahead and get into these shoes. But first, I do want to say I picked these up from Flight Club. Now, I know, being born and raised in New York, that Flight Club and Stadium Goods are tourist traps. They usually charge more than the rest of the third-party market because they know they can get away with it. And with StockX being as backed up as they are and Go and Flight Club being around the same price, I went ahead and went with the devil that I know. Sometimes you have to do that, so I picked these up from Flight Club. But now that you know where I picked these up, let's go ahead and get into the shoes. Starting with the box, we do have this black and cement gray box. It's the Off-White Swiss cheese box, as some people like to call it, because of all of the holes. Now, these holes do have protective film behind them to protect the shoes. And for those of you who like to see the label, I'll go ahead and give you a look at that. I picked these up in a women's size 7.5, which translates to a men's size 6, which is my true size, so these should fit fine. Now, this lid does come all the way off, and then you are met with the plastic underneath. There's no paper on these pairs. There's plastic that has the black Jumpman, as you can see, and then it also has this little paragraph of text repeated all over it. It says off 2020 Off-White with a couple of symbols on it. At first glance, this looks like the same plastic that came with the Off-White Jordan 5s. Let's go ahead and pull this back. These look so clean in person. I cannot stress that enough. People are really starting to catch on to how good these look, and the prices will go up. So I'm glad I copped when I did. Hopefully the lighting is good. I did dim it so that you would be able to see more of the details. At a very basic level, this sneaker is an all-over sail color Jordan 4. Now, sail has been a very popular color for Nike for the past couple of years now. We've seen sail replace white on a lot of different shoes, and that's popular with some people who really like the color, but it is a miss for people who just think that Nike is overusing it. What I can't understand is the criticism this sneaker received from certain people, calling the shoe boring. Holding this in my hand right now, I can tell you it is the furthest thing from boring. All of these details, the materials, all of the materials have different finishes, which really allow for a lot of different shades of sail. It's not just one shade of sail all over. It has a bunch of different textures on here, and we're going to get into all of that right now, starting with the outsole. The toe and heel of the outsole is a solid sail color, while the middle, the rubber portion of the outsole, is a semi-translucent sail color. And then you can also see it does have these white and I would say mint green accents, which I really like. You already know I like the details that no one sees. Even if no one's ever going to see them, that doesn't matter to me. I know that they're there and I like them, especially if you go ahead and throw in the mint laces with these. Moving up from there, around the air bubble is a true white color. I think they did that to break up all the sail on the shoe. Jordan Brand and Soulfly recently did a similar thing on the Jordan 10s that they released. Go check out that video on my channel if you haven't already. Very slept on sneaker, but yeah, it's a similar thing, throwing in a little bit of white to break up the monochromatic look of the shoe. Now, right above that, we have this glossy portion of the midsole where the air in quotations is, that signature Off-White kind of Virgil thing that he started to do, and now it's been on every Off-White since then. On the mudguard of the shoe is where we see the muslin that is listed on the box. Now, this is a different color than the muslin they used obviously on the Air Jordan 5 Off-White, because that shoe is black and this shoe is sail, but it is still that same canvasy texture. I'm not a materials expert, so I can't tell you exactly what this is, but from what I researched, it is kind of like a cottony material. It feels rough to the touch, and I do like seeing it on these Off-Whites. It definitely lends to that deconstructed look that they're going for. Finally, getting into the upper on these, this material is really, really nice. I've never felt anything like this on a Jordan 4. I believe that it's leather, but it almost feels like a suede. It's so soft. I'm not a leather and suede expert, so I won't say whether or not Jordan Brand used expensive materials, but I can definitely tell you in hand it looks and feels expensive. Getting into the details a little bit, something that I really liked on these when I first saw photos was these translucent accents on the heel tab where it says Nike Air, as well as on the lace holders here. and the mesh that is on the tongue and these little pockets on the side. I really like that detail. Of course, I'm sure that they will yellow over time, but I think that'll just give the shoe character in the same way that creases give Air Jordan 1's character. Now, they did something interesting on these around the ankle of the shoe, and that is these two pieces here are not connected. So this area that makes up the majority of the upper on the shoe, that sail color, is not connected to the inside kind of like cushioning part of the ankle, which I think is really interesting, and it does kind of look cool. The ankle area is cut in a way to kind of leave a raw edge and exposed foam. There's also exposed foam around the tongue. Behind the tongue, you do have your usual upside down Air Jordan patch, and on the front of the tongue, we see the muslin material again on top of the Jumpman that says Flight. As for the insole of the shoe, it does look to be a cream color, and it says Nike Air in black. Wrapping up the details on the shoe, we have this Air Jordan 4 hang tag. This time it's a sail and clear color, and they actually took it a step further and painted the little chain that it's on. They painted it a sail color to match the rest of the shoe. I think that's really cool. That obviously took time and was thought about. Also, you have the off-white zip tag. That's kind of a standard now on all off-whites. The text on this one is very close to the actual hang tag itself, but it does say Off-White CO Nike 2020 zip tie. As you can see, the shoe does come laced up with the cream colored laces, but Jordan Brand and Off-White give you options. You actually have 3 sets of extra laces. You have a mint green color that matches the accents at the bottom of the shoe, and then you have a white pair as well as a black pair. I think all of these are going to look really dope. Wait for the on foot. I'm going to be putting all of these in the shoe so that you can see each one. Now that I've really broken these down and taken a more detailed look, my original thoughts were true, and that is that this shoe is much more than a monochromatic sail Air Jordan 4. The semi-translucent rubber outsole, the glossiness that you get from the midsole, and the muslin on the mud guard, combined with that material, that buttery plush material on the upper of these, it's just crazy. I've been waiting on these since Virgil's MCA exhibit when the pictures circulated, and I have to say, having them in hand right now, I am not disappointed at all. I'm ready to throw these on, so let's run that on foot footage and I'll be back with my final thoughts.
Perfect.
This is going to be a heavy statement, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is easily my favorite Off-White and Jordan collab, and I don't know if that's because I'm in love with the Jordan 4. I know people go crazy for the Air Jordan 1 Off-White, but that shoe has never been on my grail list. This, however, if I didn't have it, I know it would be at the top of my grail list. I am so glad to have these in hand. One of the earliest Jordan 4s that I remember picking up was in 2006, and it was the women's Sand Air Jordan 4, which actually kind of reminds me of this shoe a little bit. Another shoe this reminds me of is the Hendershot 4, which if you don't know is a Air Jordan 4 silhouette crafted completely out of genuine leather, like really high quality leather. I've always been in love with that shoe, but back then I did not have the budget for it. In my eyes, this sneaker was worth the resell to have it in my collection, and it has definitely solidified a place in my top 5 sneakers of 2020. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, show a small YouTuber some love, and I will catch you all in the next one.